Lawrence wants to know, is there a way to measure my hub to see what replacement bearings I need? If you have the old bearing, simply use the numbers printed on the bearing seal to source your replacement. Find another bearing with the same numbers and you'll have a bearing that will fit. Just make note of the type of bearing it is. For hubs, you'll generally want to avoid max type bearings because they are heavier and don't spin as freely as bearings using retainers. However, max bearings handle high loads better than retainer-equipped bearings, so if you're breaking or burning through bearings fast, they could be a good option for you. If you don't have the old bearings, there's an easy way to measure for the ones you need. There are 3 dimensions you are looking for: axle diameter, where the bearing rests on the axle; hub bore diameter, where the bearing sits in the hub; and the hub's bore depth. That last measurement is the trickiest because sometimes the bore is deeper than the bearing requires to accommodate a seal or end cap assembly. You can work backwards though by assembling the hub without the bearings to figure out what the measurement is. I can't describe a method here that will work for every hub because the shoulders of the hub flange and the axle end caps vary so widely among the different models. But if you use your head, you should be able to do a little arithmetic to figure it out. For example, you'll start by measuring the entire depth of the hub bore. Once that is done, measure the width of any seal and/or end caps that also sit into the hub bore. The width of the bearing will be the difference between those 2 measurements. Keep in mind when taking measurements with very accurate calipers that cartridge bearings require an interference fit. This means that the part the bearing is pressing into will be a few thousandths of an inch smaller than the bearing's outer race. If it weren't, the bearing would fall out or rattle around. On the ARTS website, we list the bearing code and the bearing measurements of all the bearings we sell right in the product title to make it easy for you to select the right one. We carry most hub bearing sizes, so we'll likely have what you need. If you want your question asked on Ask a Mechanic presented by Art Cyclery, send your inquiry to webletters@competitorgroup.com.